In our last video, we talked about our Jayco Seneca, and in this one we're going to talk about our RV from hell.
Yes, our first Class A excursion.
Yes, we can't say what it was because for legal reasons, we can't say the manufacturer, but it's a long time manufacturer, very old manufacturer. So we traded off our Jayco, and we went and we saw this one and loved it.
Yep, loved the interior.
Modern interior.
Real modern. It was all kind of what we always wanted.
Yeah, it was kind of everything we wanted in an RV. So we decided to buy it.
Yep.
And we traded in our Jayco, lost a ton of money.
Yep. But we're like, gosh, this one is so nice inside. It's exactly what we want.
And we didn't buy any of the protection packages. No
wheels.
coach net, no wheels, no nothing, none of that, because that
didn't pan out for us before.
Didn't pan out before. So we went through the inspection. We set it up for another day. We came back in.
Yep.
And the guy took like 2 hours to go through how to use everything. At least what he knew of. Yeah, what he knew, which I think we probably knew more than him. And we bought it at La Mesa RV out in Fort Myers, Florida. So it had been on the lot for months and months and months.
Yes, they had used it as a show one, so it was pretty dirty inside.
It was filthy, and they had it had like 4,000 miles on it, and the generator had like 200 hours.
200 hours on it.
400 hours,
yeah,
something.
A ton of hours.
And so we paid for it, picked it up. We went to drive it off the dealer lot, and you were sitting in the passenger seat. I was driving, and I made the first turn.
And all of a sudden, the table shoots off like a rocket across into the other couch. Ball bearings everywhere. The beeping from the jacks, which we figured out.
It was beep. There was alarms beeping. The refrigerator doors flew open. The freezer flew open.
Cupboard doors were opening.
The cupboard doors were flying open.
The closet doors were whipping around.
The shower doors opening.
The toilet knocked down.
It was a madhouse. I mean,
you didn't know what was going to break. You're like, what's the noise?
And there's this beeping, and of course we don't have a knob for the radio because they lost the radio knob somehow. So we can't access any of the GPS or the radio or anything. So finally, we get back.
Yep, I'm running around trying to fix everything.
We're picking ball bearings up off the ground and collecting everything, and everything's just a mess. The table's broken, the chairs are falling all over the place, and so we finally got it back, and we started doing some fixes on different things.
Yeah.
And we started replacing latches. All the latches in the coach were pretty much broken.
Yeah.
And we had to rebuild the bed frame because the plywood was busted out of the bed frame, and which wasn't working when we bought it. They were fixing it actually as we were going through it.
Yes.
So we got everything fixed up. We kind of went through it, and we said we'll take it for our first weekend trip.
The shakedown, and we already booked that month out repair time. So we left there with we'll be back in a month to bring it back to you. Because
they knew we were going to be bringing it back. So we had we took it for the first adventure. Of course, the jacks are still beeping all the way there.
The blinker doesn't hold down.
And we find that the alignment's bad. It's pulling violently to the right.
Yep.
And the blinker won't work. And so we're trying to, I think we only drove about 150 miles.
Yes. Wasn't too far.
And we parked it, and I think that's when we first noticed the sewer smell.
Yep.
There was like a slight sewer smell in it.
Yep.
And we're just like, well, this
isn't right.
Yeah. So I think we had one of the vent fans stop working at that time. We had a couple of the blinds that wouldn't work.
The air conditioner it would freeze you out in the back bedroom, but up front you'd roast.
Yeah, all the ducting was going into the back bedroom, and so we had to stuff towels in the back bedroom ducts to get the air conditioning to go in the front of the coach.
Yes.
And the temperature didn't read correctly. It's got 3 gauges in the whole unit, and none of them read correctly.
No.
They'd read like 70 degrees, and it'd be 100 in here. And so we got it back, and we took it in for the repair and the scheduled repair.
Yep.
So it was in there for a couple weeks, and we got it back, and they fixed a few of the things. Still didn't get our radio knob.
No.
And so we actually ended up having to make one. and they couldn't fix the temperature, they couldn't fix the sewer smell, they couldn't fix some of the other
the
stuff.
Toilet that kept draining.
The blinds, they ordered the wrong ones, so not a whole lot got fixed.
No.
So we used it a couple more weekends. The sewer smell got worse. We found a water leak in the main water tank that we had to repair. The temperatures still didn't work, and we had the shower was cracking. There was I think there was a water leak on one of the slides or one of the ceilings. One of the other vent fans quit working. I
believe the one air conditioner backed up and had water coming in.
There was one air conditioner that quit.
Yes. Or it was in reverse.
No, they quit first.
Quit first, okay.
And then, or two of them quit actually. We had the slide break when we put the slide back in. The slide stopped moving just as it got almost closed. It was like an inch out, and it quit working completely. So we went to take it down to the dealer, and it had just rained all weekend. So it was a cold morning, and we wanted to get it down there by 8 o'clock by the time they opened.
And so you hop in the RV to go take it off, and I'm driving behind him so I can pick you up so we can go back to work. And he starts going down the road, and all of a sudden he gets to the stop light, and I'm sitting behind him, and it turned green, and he went just a little bit, and all of a sudden he stopped, and I'm like, do I get out and go see what's wrong in there?
Well, what she didn't realize is that when I got to the stoplight and I stepped on the brakes, about 20 gallons of water came down from the overhead compartment right on top of my head, on top of the dash. The whole compartment was just flooded. There was water everywhere. And I had a towel next to me, thank God. So I'm mopping myself up, and I'm afraid the dash is going to short out. So I'm trying to drive down the road, mopping all this water off the dash, and there's water everywhere. It's sloshing around to the floor. I'm just totally drenched.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, she doesn't know any of this.
I have no idea.
So I get into the dealer, and I walk out the door, and
he's just drenched. I'm like, what on earth?
and I walked in the dealer. I go, I think there's a leak. So they said, I said there's more than one leak. I said I brought it down for one small leak. Now I had 20 gallons of water on me.
I think there's a bigger problem.
So we dropped it off for probably 3 months.
Well, at least, yeah.
It took them to fix all the stuff there was a list of probably 50 things. They actually told us they could only fix, what'd they say?
We didn't have a regular service guy. The guy's like, we can only do 10 at a time. I'm like...
we had a list of 30 or 50
I'm like,
things.
yeah, that's not going to happen.
Just like, so you want us to bring it back, for every 10 things? We'd be bringing it back constantly. I said, just fix it, keep it till it's done. So 3 months later...
Yeah, once again.
We got it back. And we're like, okay, let's go for a week. And we went to change the generator oil.
Yes.
Because we said we better change the generator oil since we don't know how much time is on it.
And the reason we didn't know that is...
you call them.
I called the dealership, and I'm like, hey, I need to know, what service have you done on this generator? And I get the run around, and they're like, well, we'll get back to you. So no one gets back to me, of course. So I call up again, and they go, well, we can't tell you that. That's confidential information. I'm like... I own the RV. I need to know what's been done on it. And they wouldn't tell me.
Apparently, generator hours is confidential.
It's confidential. Any upkeep on it.
So we said, okay, we'll change the generator. It came out like sludge, of course. So it probably had not been changed for 200 hours.
Yeah.
Or however many hours was on the generator itself. So we went for our week-long trip.
Yep.
And bad things we had water leaks. The sewer smell was getting worse and worse. We had various other problems, like latches kept breaking. We had all these other problems going on. And so we said, fine. We got done with our trip. We brought it back into the dealer.
We dropped it off.
And we gave them a list. The temperature wasn't working again. It was getting worse and worse.
Yep. They finally were going to replace our mirror, which was all scratched from the beginning.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, they finally got that part in, so we'll get a new mirror.
So we took it back. And then we dropped it off for another 3 months.
Yep.
And so it sat in there.
And we had to get on it because we were preparing for our big trip.
Yeah. So we finally said, well, we need it by this date. And so basically they just kind of gave it to us. And said,
everything's done.
This is what we can do. So we got everything loaded up. And we found there was a leak in one of the compartments, so we took it back, and they fixed the leak the day before we left. So we got on and we got going down the road, and of course we had the sewer smell still there, but we tried to keep the black tank drained, everything deodorized and everything else in there. We bought gallons of deodorizer and just poured it in there.
Just like
so we could stand driving in there. And of course the air conditioner in the cab stopped working. We went down. Everything else there worked pretty well, other than the alignment was off. We stopped at 3 alignment shops and 2 Freightliner dealers, and nobody could fix the alignment. So we said, okay, well, we'll have to look at that. So we finally get to our camp spot, and we go to back in, and the jacks won't level.
No.
So we ended up backing in and out about 5 times, trying to get the jacks to level. We got to a level spot where the jacks could come down just enough to level it.
Yes.
And we go to put the slides out. Of course, the slide doesn't go up.
No.
This is the 3rd time that the slide has broken. One of the slides has broken. So we're looking at it, and of course, I'm just like, let's push it out, because we're going to be here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have to push it out.
So we pushed it out, and we said, we'll call them, and we'll see if they can send us a part. We'll fix it ourselves while we're here. Well, after we called 4 or 5 different places. We were up near Milwaukee. We even drove to a camping world to see if there was anybody. There was no mobile repair people that could repair anything like that.
So, no one had the part.
No, nobody had the part. Nobody could do anything. So I said, well, we're on our own. We'll see if we can get the part from the manufacturer. So we called them up, and they said, yeah, we'll send it right out to you, no problem. I said, great.
Great. We got enough people here to help us fix it.
So we waited, and of course, that week went by, and we had huge water leaks. We had a sewer smell that was unbearable by that time. And because we were dry camping, so we couldn't pump our septic every day. We had to wait, at least 3 days. And by the time it got halfway filled, it was just unbearable.
It was awful.
We had to open up the windows. We had the vent fans go out again. We had
a water leak in the closet. You went to go grab a shirt one day, and
all my clothes were wet in the closet. Soaked. So we had all these things going wrong. And the end of the week came, no part. The end of the week and a half came, no part. And so we called them up, and they said, yeah, well, we forgot to send the part.
Sorry about that.
And we said, well, we're leaving. We have to be out of this campground.
We can't just stay here. We hope the slide does not shoot out when we're driving down the road.
So we pulled in the slide. We pushed in that slide because it didn't work. So we got a couple people on there, pushed it in, and then just hoped that it didn't come out. So we got to our next destination. They actually sent the part. We replaced it. I found out that they put it together wrong. And so we fixed it all, got the slide. We went to tackle the septic problem, because on the way there, we were unable to pump our septic because there was a long line at the pumping station.
So it smelled horrible.
So it was so bad that I had to stick my head out the window on the way to. I couldn't even stand. Even the dog didn't like it. It was so bad. So I'm sticking my head out the window, and all of a sudden, the driver's blind falls down on my head, acts like a guillotine on my head, and about chops it off. It's like 30 pounds. The whole thing is like 30 pounds.
So I'm running around trying to find our Velcro.
I'm driving down the road with this thing, and I'm holding up with one hand, and I've got a big knot on my head.
Yeah.
And you're.
I'm finding some Velcro to trying to hoist it up.
There's nowhere to stop. We were on like a country road. And so we get back, and we finally get to a place where we can do these repairs. So we look at, there's a little hatch in the wall that you can take off. So I take that hatch off, and I see the vent tube from the black tank to the ceiling was not glued, not connected at all.
Not connected at all.
So I'm like,
I'm thinking, the fumes from the black tank are just getting trapped in the wall. That must be it.
So I went and got some ABS glue. We got it glued together.
Yep.
Managed to get into the wall to glue it together. Next day, the sewer smell came back.
Still there.
And we're just like, are you kidding? So I said, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a hole in the wall. So I cut a hole in the wall, and I actually ended up tearing the whole wall out.
Yeah, we tore the wall out.
Found out that the pipe was not connected to the sewer tank at all, and there was sewage that had
slopped up out when you were driving down the road.
So we said, okay, so we fixed that, cleaned up the sewage.
As best we could.
Glued the wall back on. Went for a couple days, and it smelled a little better.
Oh yeah, yep, it wasn't too bad for a while.
And then the sewer tank got filled up again, and the smell came back. And this time it was in a different area. So what we think is there was a pipe somewhere in the wall somewhere, like a vent pipe, because all the pipes were vented together, and there was something loose somewhere else in the
where
wall.
it was backing up.
And there was no possible way for us to find it. So we got back to the next spot, and we called the company because we were up near their manufacturing facility. We said, is it possible we could bring it in and have you fix it? And they're like, we can do that, but it's going to be 3 months. And I said, well,
I can't stay.
Well, right here. I mean, we can drop it off. Can't you just fix it? If we just drop it off and leave it with you, we have a place to stay. Like, no, we can't do that. And so we said, well, is it possible that we could just trade this off for a brand new one? We'll pay the difference. Just give us a reasonable deal on it.
We'll be happy
while we're traveling here. And they're like, no, we're not interested in doing that. We'll repair it, or you can take it to a dealer and have them repair it, and on our time schedule. I said, well, we can't do that. We can't just drive it all the way back. We can't just drive it 2,000 miles
and then drive it back. And then
we have jobs. We have to work. We have responsibilities. And they said, well, too bad.
Yeah.
And so we
struggled through.
We struggled through for another week.
Yeah.
And we couldn't stand the temperature wasn't regulating.
No, and we were getting more leaks. The shower finally leaked.
The shower was leaking. There was a leak in the slide. There was a leak in the ceiling.
And then another air conditioner backed up and started
the air conditioners kept backing up because they were running because the temperature wasn't regulating it correctly. So they'd ice up and then they'd melt and water would be running in from there. So finally we just ended the trip. We said we were done. So we went back to Florida.
Yeah.
And we called the company and we said, hey, these are the problems. You guys have to do something. And they said, well, there's not much we can do other than you can take it to the dealer. I've had it to the dealer for 7 months. I said, we can't do that. So they said, well, we can pick it up and we can bring it back to the factory. And I said, well, how long is that going to? Well, we can do it, by November. And then this was August.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do it in November. I said, well, that's not going to work. I said, we can't sit here for another 6 months.
Without another RV, I mean.
So we went back and forth, and basically they ended up just saying, too bad, if you want, this is the deal. If not, then you're on your own. So what happened is we had to get an attorney involved. And next video, we will talk about the attorney and what it took us to get the motorhome bought back by the manufacturer. Yes.